Hello. Welcome to our small actual play of the Quck, a Nordic Noir ghost story RPG. I will be your game master today. I'm Petri. I'm a game designer, and you can find me best on Threads. There's a link below. And joining me today, as usual, Annina.
Hi. I have a frog in my throat, apparently. Hi, I'm Annina Kaski. I'm a actor and writer and TTRPG player. You can find me on Bardic Quest as a cast member and producer. That's all on YouTube and any podcast platform, as well as YouTube on my own channel, The Awkward Actress, and in your usual places as well. Instagram, or all the other ones. Just there'll be a load of links underneath.
Yep. And Chris?
Hi, my name's Christopher Stratton Smith, RPG designer and general enthusiast. You can find me both in English and Finnish. In English, mainly on Threads at the moment, under Casmi87. That's CASSMI87. And then on YouTube and Threads under Rope Satama for Finnish content.
Wonderful. And joining us is Jamie.
Hi, I'm Jamie MacDonald. I'm a stand-up comedian and performer based in Helsinki. And I'm also on the socials, Happening Fish, usually in English, sometimes shitposting in broken Finnish. And you'll also find me on my podcast, Queer and Dumb. Guess which one I am.
Wonderful. The last we saw our heroes, they were considering evacuating the library at the city of Virrat as a story hour with kids was beginning, and they were sticking out like sore thumbs. So, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
So, are we staying for the kitty stuff, or where do you want to do research? What's happening?
You're hungry?
I mean, I just drove 3.5 hours.
Let's get him something to eat, and we can.
Let me just grab a couple books, and then we can go get a sandwich.
Fine, great. All right.
Yep. Jack heads out to get some books. Local history or
local history, and does a man with a wolf's head ping anything for Jack?
I think at this point, no. It
right.
Just like, well, you get some like, you get a few books on like local myths and local history just to browse through and head out.
Can we safely say I own some books on the occult?
Books,
or shall I?
Or do you have like a PDF collection?
Yeah, probably. That's probably makes more sense. I think I would have left my physical books at home.
Yeah, so you
apart
have
from one really ostentation, like prop book. She has a prop book. For clients. She's got a prop book, but yeah, I'll have I would definitely have PDFs.
Yeah. You have a nice collection of relevant PDFs and one very pretentious looking occult tome with you.
Which is actual bullshit, but only she knows that.
Yeah, it looks impressive.
Yeah.
And you paid way too much to get it when you actually did. Jack gets the books. You step outside. What color is your small hybrid Mats? It's standing right outside the library doors.
It's probably like a kind of Finnish November brownish gray.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Fits.
That's...
Yeah. It tracks.
It's just so painfully Finnish. It's either red...
Hey, you can't see the mud. It's great.
It's either red or that color. Every car.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so do you want to hop in Mats' car and get some food? As said, there's a couple of like pizza places here. There's the service station bar. Then if you drive a bit, Jack, you would know this. If you drive a bit, there is like a small... It's sort of a beach restaurant, but now it's autumn, so it's just like a restaurant next to water. That's a bit better. Jack, as a person who has come from here, you know that this place has no good food places, so it's bad or worse.
Yeah, let's go for bad rather than worse, I think.
Yeah, so you'd recommend the small restaurant a bit further away from the town center, near the like waterways here. It's a tourist trap for summer, but in the autumn it's if someone's there, that's a miracle. As you drive, following instructions from a navigator or phone or Jack, depending, you drive past this sign that like welcomes you to Virrat, the midsummer city of Finland. It is very shiny and bright, and like it doesn't fit the mood at all. As you pass it, it starts raining, pouring down like these big raindrops of autumn rain. And you head to the restaurant. It's one of those where the menu is basically what you'd expect. So burgers and that sort, like very standard average restaurant menu with nothing special in it. But at least you have privacy.
So Sabrina would already be like scrolling through her phone to see if Wolf's Head howling, what that might come up.
Oh yeah. It doesn't like... Well, wolves are powerful symbols in the occult, of course. So you get a lot of pretentious bullshit.
Yep.
But yeah, you start doing that. Go scrolling through your files to see if you can find something relevant.
Mm-hmm.
How about the two of you?
I'm gonna peruse the menu hopelessly.
Hey.
And sort of desiring that a new item would have popped up in the last 20 years.
Yeah, the fridge problem. If I look at it 3 times, something will appear.
It's like burgers. They have like a vegetarian burger now, but you don't have high hopes for that. And like
that's
otherwise,
what Sabrina orders. She orders the vegetarian burger.
Yeah, you don't really have high hopes for anything, Jack. But yeah.
Yeah, I really want to make myself order the salad, but I'm going to get the burger.
Yep. How about Max? You're hungry.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for, since the weather is looking kind of awful outside, I'm going to go for a hearty salmon stew.
Oh, yep.
Or at least as good as I can get.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with that. Yeah, like Or at least that's what you think. The food is bland. Like there's no way to go around it. It's like they have a freezer and they reheat stuff, so it's not very good, but it fills your stomach and like it serves the purpose. So Sabrina is still looking through the PDFs, and you found a few different meanings of like seeing someone as a wolf.
Okay.
Of course, the like standard stuff is werewolves and whatnot.
Yeah.
But for some reason, you feel like this would be more like you can't put your finger on it until you see a group of people dressed in these bright orange and red vests and camo enter the restaurant, and like it clicks that like hunting. There's like you have this feeling of them, the man being on a hunt for some reason.
I think she would be like a phone in one hand and like burger in another, and then she'd just go and like she's got food in her mouth, and she'd be like hunting season, and she just expects them to know what she means.
Like,
Yeah,
Looney Tunes.
I think hunting season is on now, actually. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you see the group coming in, and you know at least like two of them by like you've seen them. Like this is a small town, everyone knows each other, or at least of each other. So familiar faces, not necessarily you don't know their names, but like local hunters who've come for lunch. For some reason, hunting feels like something Sabrina like picks up on. The one thing that doesn't fit is the dark suit. It was very much a like funeral drab, like very, very like prim and proper dark suit that you would wear to a funeral.
Okay.
But that might just be because it was a ghost.
So I'd share that with them too. Obviously trying to speak so the other people don't hear, because
they're allowed, so you
Oh, okay, good.
yeah, it's a group of people who have been on a hunt all morning, so it's like they're deep
They're rowdy.
in their own they're rowdy, they're in their own conversation. You can be here quietly if you want, and then they won't pay attention to you.
Do you think it would have been a hunting accident?
They were on the hunt for something.
Like what?
Like, I don't know. But they definitely wanted something. Could be an accident, or more symbolic. I'll have to try my cards, but I'm not going to try it here.
Why not? They're not paying attention.
They will if I get my cards out.
What? They don't care. They're just having their food.
Look, just not here. We can go back to the house.
You eat. The group of hunters, they stay after you leave. The food, as said, is bland, but at least it's not food poisoning stuff, so that's a positive. You head to the Karpala house. this is not exactly your home, but the house where Peter Karpala used to rule over the Karpala family. I'm talking to Jack in this case. There's the main house and a guest house. You have a spot at the guest house, but it would probably be sort of polite to go say hello to the mistress of the house.
Okay.
To use it. As you drive from Virot proper, it's about 20-30 minutes drive to get to the estate, and it's small, like twisty turny roads. And as you drive, there is like these spots where there are cars parked, like one after another, big cars, like proper jeeps and such.
Hunting.
And yeah, it's hunting season, and looks like the local main event is going on right now.
Yeah.
You turn to your left and drive to a widening road that ends in front of a lake. There's this beautiful lake house, the Karpala estate, basically a big, nice log house. 2 stories, lots of glass. Must have cost a fortune to build. Out steps Inka, Jack's cousin, Sabrina's employer, client. She nods to Sabrina, very, like, straightforwardly, and then assesses if she should hug Jack or not. Like, what's the vibe she's getting?
It not super warm, but not like too distant either. So it's okay, but it's not a screaming happy reunion.
Yeah, and the same from her. Like there is this much as an outsider to the situation, you get this vibe that this is for appearances, like they're hugging because that's sort of required. There is no warm feelings here. It's just like, and after the hug, Inka comes to you and offers her hand. Hello, Inka Karpala.
Mats Autio, how you doing?
He's
Good.
I called him. He's good.
Yeah, you said you had a specialist. So Sabrina here, she found an echo, and she is Inka is talking directly to Mats, like not like assuming that Sabrina hasn't said anything, like just like she's part of the workforce, so now I have to take charge. So Sabrina here, she sensed an echo, and well, it's been the tradition of Karpala family, and looks at Jack. It's the purpose and mission of the Karpala family to keep echoes from disturbing our reality. So I'm willing to pay you a daily fee. Of course, I would rather this being dealt with sooner rather than later. if that's okay.
I see no reason why not.
Have you had contact with Karpala family before? Like when you were here, did they come across your investigations before?
For much specifically. I'd say yeah, and perhaps in some fashion, not too in depth. So there's still a lot to learn about them, but some kind of crossover.
This is probably the first time you've had an opportunity to actually have a word with like one of the actual higher up members of the family. These are logging people, lots of money. They wouldn't talk to a podcaster like you for some weird scoop that you're looking for. So it's like there is this tingling that maybe you could ask at some point for some things that you haven't had a chance to hear before. But for now, Inga shouts for Mikke, her husband, to open up the guest house for you. The guest house is a 2-story small building. Like there is the upper floor, which is for sleeping, and the lower floor where there is this area to eat and a small kitchen in the corner. Basically 2 rooms, but in 2 stories. You have some privacy. Oh, one thing. Both Jack and Mats, when driving here, there was a point during the drive where there was like the hair on the back of your neck stood up. For Sabrina, you felt the echo there again. It didn't stop time this time, but you felt it. Probably because it's daytime.
So when we drove past the area, I felt it, or I felt it in the guest house? Okay. Okay.
In the area, like at the same spot.
Okay, I'll tell them where the spot is, so we know we're probably going to have to go investigate.
I felt it too.
Yeah.
She kind of looks at him suspiciously, but doesn't say anything.
Kind of narrow my eyes when she's looking at me like,
Yeah. So, what do you want to do, or like, where do you want to go? What do you want to know?
Sabrina would ask Jack if he found anything in the local history. That's good. Anyway, vaguely.
Yeah, you haven't had a chance to really look into that. But if you are like taking a short time and just do some research, I'll give some info on that. Wolves aren't really a thing here. That's something that Jack would like know. This is more like moose and bear country. Sometimes a lynx, but wolves are like not that common. You hear like once every winter that someone has spotted wolf tracks, but that's all. But you do find like it's a drawing in one of the books that you borrowed from the library for like local legends and stuff. There is this It looks a bit hokey, but book with illustration of some local shaman type, like a character, sort of that was working with local bandits back in like these 1700s or so, or the 1800s, something like that. There is this mention of person with a wolf's head, and then an illustration of what only can be described as very like imaginative interpretation of a like bandit.
Like a kind of wood cutting sort
you're
of.
Getting from it.
Is it the shaman who is with the wolf's head, or is it meant to be it doesn't look like a representation of a figure, does it look like it's supposed to be a representation of a supernatural figure, or is the shaman who's wearing the wolf head?
I think Jack would think this is a representation of a supernatural figure. You have a feeling that you've seen a similar drawing somewhere when you were a kid, like when you were here. Not in this specific house, but in one of the farmhouses nearby, playing as a child. While Jack is doing this, it takes a while. What do you two do?
If I can, I would try and... Can I do some sort of medium ritual that doesn't use my powers? Or is it purely like if I'm gonna do it, then I'm...
If you're gonna do something that's supernatural, that's going to be tapping into your powers.
Okay.
If you just want to draw cards, then that's...
I'll draw cards.
Yep, you just do some reads. What's the vibe you get from the cards?
What's the vibe?
Yeah. I'm asking you. You're the
Asking
one
me?
doing it. Yeah.
Oh.
You're the one drawing them.
How do I know what vibe like? Well, she's pulling cards, but she's pulling them very differently from how like someone would pull them who's doing a tarot reading, if that makes sense. So it's far more casual. She's trying to gauge, like, she's trying to figure out this howling, whether it was like, is this the spirit that was in distress? Like, is it a tragic victim thing, or is this a very sort of malicious? So she's trying to figure out if it's malicious or not, or if it's a victim, basically, is what she's trying to figure out.
Yep.
What do the cards tell me?
The cards, they are open to interpretation as usual, but you draw a lot of... Now I'm blanking on my tarot lore, but I'd say that it's more on the cup side, so like more on the victim than like swords, active aggressor type.
Got you.
But like that's the vibe without without using your powers, it's just a general feeling.
Yeah.
And to use your powers, you would have to be closer to the actual echo site.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of leaving it until we go there.
What's what you're doing while the two do research?
Are the two close to me? Can I kind of see what they're doing? Can we share information about what we
Yeah,
find?
I would say
Yeah.
in the main room, like the main sort of living room.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I'm curious about Mats's process. How he starts.
Yeah, he has a notepad and a pen, and he's kind of walking around almost as someone who's making like measurements. He's kind of tapping the notepad with his pen and making a couple scribbles here and there. Kind of like private thoughts on a piece of paper. And he asks you to, so are you getting the feeling this was some kind of victim related to some cult shaman thing? Are the other two things you found connected? You think?
I'm getting
Fluid.
the sense it's not malicious, so I'm getting the sense it was a victim of something. We'd have to go back. We'd have to go to where the echo was for me to know
well,
for
I
sure.
could help us maybe rein in that area a little bit. Maybe find a more specific source for the echo. If it's willing to give that information up. What about you, Jack? You said there's something to do with. You found something about some kind of wolf head character.
Yeah, it's just a funny drawing that I really get a feeling that I've seen it before. But there's not, when you get these old things like this, there's often so much embellishment that it's not necessarily it's not conclusive, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't always pan out to be exactly what the little cartoon says. So I don't want to get carried away, but the other, I don't know if I took this book out from the library when I was a kid or if I saw it somewhere else. But I think I've seen that before.
Good. Well, that's something. I'm thinking before we head out to check out the echo in more detail, I could ask someone around here if they know about any violent deaths in the past few years that might relate to this. What do you think?
Good idea.
All right.
Do you think it's recent?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
She'd
Was it
pull a
like-
couple more cards to see if it's how recent it is.
Were the clothes modern on the thing
I
you
mean,
saw?
it was a black suit.
But like cut-wise, did it look like 1970s giant lapels or like any idea?
What did it look like? I'm guessing it looked.
How much does Sabrina know about fashion?
She would definitely know, like, vaguely. Like, she would know, like, okay, 70s looks like this, 60s looks like that.
Like-
It
So
looks
I think
fairly
she would-
modern.
Yeah.
It looks fairly modern and like the stuff that you would get from a chain tailors, like not any fancy. Like
yeah.
it looks good and proper, but the budget isn't very high.
Yeah.
So it's modern, like
Yeah.
past 10 years.
Yeah, it's modern. Not more than
Alright.
10 years. Absolute max.
Well, that name kind of limits it a little bit. That's good. Yeah, I'll go and see what I can find. And I
Okay.
would go to the ask questions.
Do you want to call or pay a visit?
Are we still in the house?
You're still in the guest house. Yep.
Oh yeah, the guest house. So could I like physically just go and ask the family or?
Yeah. You go to the main house, knock on the door, and a while later, the man who showed you the guest house arrives at the porch, like opens the door and says, come on in.
Hey, thanks.
Gives his hand. He didn't introduce himself earlier as Mick.
Yeah, Mats. Autio. Good to meet you. I don't know how much you've heard about us. I do a podcast. I kind of do crime stuff, and
I don't really want to know. This is
okay.
Like,
fair enough.
This is the stuff that Inka can keep to herself. If this is about that, I'll go fetch her. Come on.
I was actually.
Yeah.
I was. If you could get her, but in the meantime, before you go, do you know anything about any violent deaths in the area in the recent, let's say, 10 years or so? Any idea? I know it's a bit of an icebreaker, but
violent deaths, like,
or anything out of the ordinary. Natural causes, hit by a car, none of that. Something,
There. No, that. Not really. There. I don't think there has been any. This is a small town. Nothing like. Nothing of that sort happens here. And he just shakes his head in this like disbelief of bad things being even capable of happening here.
Do I get the idea, the kind of the feeling that he's hiding something, or is it more of a like he really doesn't think that anything happened?
Probably like there is some form of denial or like there was this moment where he came up with some thought and then dismissed it.
I mean, if you have, you look like you got something on your mind. I mean, I won't, obviously, off the record, won't mention you anywhere. Just if you could point me in the right direction, that
I'd love a roll for this for you to dig deeper. So it is as many dice as you can muster up. Feel free to just.
So I'm assuming that, touched, obviously.
Yeah.
Would it's personal? No, that doesn't really work with this one necessarily.
Depends.
Maybe entertainer instead of it's personal, because entertainer in the sense that I can kind of work people a little bit. I can.
Yeah. So getting an interview sort of thing. So that's 2 dice.
Okay, 2 aspect. All right.
Yep.
That's 1 success.
That's 1 success. Let's see. Well, and this. There's been these. This sounds stupid, but there's
I've heard it all.
These like accidents, deaths. Yes, but they've been accidents, and it's like, well, we've been living here for a while now, and like always happens in the autumn. Like every year there is some freak accident going on. Getting hit by a moose, like some logging accident, and like for such a small place, it feels just so final. I don't know what you asked.
I appreciate it. Anything that can help. Is there some does the overall like vibe of the town change in the autumn, or is there some like reason there might be more accidents? Are people just more tired?
Well, that's another funny thing, because like in the summer, this place is crawling with tourists. So there should be like more accidents, but they're usually like small ones. Rarely anything that's like lethal. But it's, I don't know. It's always in the middle of the hunts. And when he says hunts, he looks like across the lake, and there is movement on the shore, the opposite shore. You see these people with like red and orange vests.
Yeah, I see. People can go a little crazy when the hunt is on. I can get that.
I've never hunted. I'm from Turku, so like this is I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, well, I come from Portable, so it's not exactly.
Yeah, you go fishing. You don't go hunting.
Yeah.
And
but hey, when in Rome, you know.
Yeah. I've never. I don't.
That's cool.
Yeah. You sort of, you get this investigation of yours done each on your own area, and sort of come back to the guest house and start thinking of what to do next. The rain is starting to like calm down. It's no longer these big drops that have been going on all day. Now it's just this thin mist that's falling from the sky, and there is almost some sign of the sun setting beyond the clouds. You reconvene. You probably like bought some food to eat from the store, and there's coffee here. So time to plan for the next steps. And let's take a short break before we do that. See you in a moment.